Yo, yo, yo. Thanks for tuning in to the 64th episode of J Talks Crypto. And in this episode, I'm going to be talking about Bitcoin privacy a little bit. And kind of like give my general thoughts on the topic. I feel like it's impossible to not talk about this and bring up Monero and just like, just that whole topic in general. So I'm also going to be touching on like why I don't believe in Monero, why it doesn't work for me, and just shit like that. But before that, I want to start off with this little clip that I saw a long ass time ago by Andreas. And I made this place a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago or whatever. And I just felt like it was very, very useful and relevant. So here it is.
I believe that the biggest step we need to make in terms of development in Bitcoin, for example, is better privacy. But the other thing you've got to realize is that one of the elements of engineering that is almost always true is you don't optimize for a problem that doesn't exist yet. All we're looking for is a couple of direct attacks against people who have lost their financial privacy that way. And what you're going to see is an enormous immune response by the entire crypto space. And it will start developing privacy features faster than you can imagine. They evolved decentralization by creating exactly the kind of hostile stimulus that a directed evolution technology that can move and mutate fast enough by the most creative and determined people who you can't hire because they're not interested in money win that arms race by evolving and mutating that technology until it can resist the attack. Nicholas Nassim Taleb calls these systems antifragile. They're systems that not only resist attack, but in the process of being attacked, evolve strength and become more and more robust. The internet is an antifragile system, and open blockchains are antifragile systems. I'm not worried. We already have privacy-centric blockchains, and those blockchains are leading the path in terms of research in order to help us adopt these in a more generic way across the board. We've learned the lesson of the internet. The internet had insufficient encryption and privacy, and that gave a lot of governments the opportunity to co-opt our information. Hopefully, we will not repeat that mistake. And so here's my little prediction. Bitcoin is the cuddly little gecko of cryptocurrencies. If they try to stomp on the cuddly little gecko, it will start evolving. It will start evading. It will become stealthier. It will grow teeth and nails. And one day, it will become, or something very much like it, or something that simply has the name, but none of the original characteristics, will become the Komodo dragon of cryptocurrencies. And if you try to step on a Komodo dragon, it will bite your fucking foot off. Let the little gecko do its thing. It will bring freedom to the world. It will actually solve many of the problems we have today that we've created through financial inclusion or exclusion.
And yeah, so that's basically how I feel about the privacy issue. Like, I think that in the long run, what we really, really need to do is just wait for like an actual attack. And if you go back to kind of like what happened, if you're not aware, in Canada, there was like this protest with a whole bunch of truckers who were protesting about like the lockdowns or some shit like that, and a whole bunch of people raised money using Bitcoin, and they didn't use best privacy preserving practices in order to distribute those funds. So like immediately what I felt happened afterwards is like there's this wallet integration called Sparrow Wallet, and then they took this old Bitcoin proposal, BIP47, and right on the next update, that was already included. So to me, that is like with that video in context, I feel like this is very important, because if nothing happened after that event, where like obviously like a lot of people, like, you could use BTC Pay server in order to handle those funds a little bit better, but to me, the most important high signal thing was that there was a response. It wasn't like nothing happened after that. Like, a whole bunch of people in the community started talking about like how this could have been handled better. An actual like wallet client implemented an old BIP where previously I think only one wallet, and it was a mobile wallet, integrated it before. So in my opinion, that video by Andreas was really, really spot on, because that's what we need to wait for. Like, we shouldn't be, like, over here optimizing for attacks that haven't hit us yet. Because like, to me, that's very short-sighted. And then, like, I guess going back to, like, the Monero thing, like, you know, a lot of people would just, like, look at that, oh, just use Monero. And I'm just kind of like, that doesn't really make sense to me. Because one, I don't think that, like, I just don't believe in Monero. A lot of the times you have to think about things through a game theoretic perspective, and I feel that, like, they're trying to push, like, this ASIC resistance, we're more decentralized, kind of bullshit. And, like, one, I don't really believe in that. And like I said, to me, the game theory doesn't work out. Because, like, on several levels, like on the mining level, and then on, like, the real world regulatory level. So just going at it from a technical standpoint, you, like, if you're not sure about how Monero's mining works, essentially, like, these guys, they think that they have broken the laws of physics and incentives and have created, like, a proof of work algorithm that can only be done by CPUs, by general hardware, or something like that. First things first, I don't think that's even fucking possible. Like, I think that given enough time, there will be a way to figure out how to make an ASIC for any algorithm, just on a fundamental level. I don't give a fuck how random you think your shit is. And then two, if your mining algorithm is kind of, like, made to kind of be more distributed, or, like, hard to, like, guess or whatever, or some shit like that, I think that is, like, I just don't like the game theory behind that, because it's like the reason they changed to this algorithm was to make it more decentralized, so to speak. So now anyone that actually is able to make an ASIC for it, they're financially incentivized to design it in a way that it's not detectable by the broader network. And if the privacy in Monero is as good as the Monero users claim it is, then you'll never be able to detect it. You will never be able to detect an ASIC on the network because, like you say, the privacy on it is the fucking shit. And, you know, that's why I kind of, like, dig on Monero. And I've said this joke before, like, you can't spell no monetary policy without Monero because that's kind of what I feel it is. Like, from a game theory perspective, like, that shit just does not make sense to me at all whatsoever. I personally don't trust it. And then when you think about it in a regulatory kind of, like, enforcement kind of way, like, a lot of times, like, Monero people will, like, discredit Bitcoin and be like, oh, have fun with your fucking surveillance chain and your blacklisted addresses. And, like, to me, that logic doesn't even work out, because it's like, okay, so, like, what happens in Bitcoin if you were to try to interact with some sort of blacklisted address, right? Like, essentially what's going to happen is that if they know that it happens to an identity that is linked to you, and you interact with a blacklisted address, and you get it processed by your own miner or some shit like that, then they're going to come after you because you did, like, an illegal transaction. So how does Monero protect you from that? Right? It's like, oh, they just don't know what the fuck you do, what you have and what you don't have. So they can't even prove that you got the transaction to begin with. Right? So I'm just kind of like, all right, bro. Like, have you ever actually run into an issue with cops? Because last time I checked, like, they've gone so far as fucking literally planting evidence on people. Like, that's not something new. So it's like, if we're already in a regulatory environment where simply having a wallet or having control of a wallet that links to a different transaction, then the cops are just gonna, like, it doesn't matter if you have shit. It doesn't matter if you didn't do shit. They'll just be like, okay, like, fucking unlock this dude's phone. We're gonna fucking install Cake Wallet on it. And then we're gonna send him some money. And then we're gonna be like, yo, this money was fucking used to like, do some fucking bad transaction. Then they're gonna throw you in jail anyway. So, to me, it's just like, the last fucking stand is something like Bitcoin. Because it's like, there's no point of having, like, the super duper 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 strong privacy if they're gonna fucking wreck you anyway. Like, if you make privacy, like, where it's, like, so damn strong, like, your enemies can use it too. And then they will use it against you. So, I don't know. Like, I'm not no fucking expert. I'm just trying to, like, share my thoughts on, like, some privacy shit with Bitcoin. And then on top of that, I feel that if you want to use Bitcoin privately, you can, and it's a lot less difficult than people make it out to be. Like, there are decentralized exchanges, right? Some people don't trust that shit. I've always, like, kind of, like, come up, and I haven't gotten a good answer to this. My go-to is just like, bro, just rent some hash. Like, buy Bitcoin, right? Rent hash. If someone ever fucking comes up to you and been like, oh, what'd you do with that Bitcoin? Be like, I rented hash with it to lotto mine and I didn't get any blocks. And what you really do is, like, you point it to something like Slush Pool. You point it something to, like, I don't know, F2 Pool or something. And then you just keep those sats in a fucking wallet that you don't mix with your, like, Cash App or your KYC funds, you know? Because essentially that's kind of like where the mistakes go. It's just like, think about it like, if you have an actual physical wallet with dollar bills. If you have a $20 bill and a $1 bill and they're in the same wallet, they essentially, like, rub next to each other. And then it kind of gets like, you can kind of link them together. So just common practice, just keep them separate. You know, just like, it's like if you go to the store and you were to buy 2 different wallets, it's like, this wallet I'm going to use for, like, my cool transactions, and this wallet I'm going to use for, like, my dark shit. Like, I'm buying weed with this shit. I'm buying fucking coke and heroin with this shit. I don't know. Or it's just like, I'm keeping savings over here because I don't want, I don't know, I'm trying to run away from my partner, and I don't want them to know that I have money. You know, a lot of times people think that it's just people need privacy to, like, just do something nefarious or something like that. But there are good reasons why someone might need privacy. If someone's in an abusive relationship and someone and like their lover is, like, straight up hounding their bank account or some shit, does that person not need privacy? I bet it would be very beneficial in that situation. So, I don't know. I'm just throwing a whole bunch of thoughts out there. Just rambling. Here, what do you guys know? The second name of this channel is J Rants Crypto. And today I wanted to rant about, like, the little privacy issue. Anyway, this video is getting kind of long and probably kind of dumb. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You guys know I hate fucking asking. But this is J Talks Crypto, and I am signing off.